Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play, but it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Scrums and tries, they're all well and good, but we're here for the jokes and 10 pants less. From the kickoff to the final whistles blow, we'll take the two and we're ready to go. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in
World of sports,
where
eh?
the banter is prime. Wasted
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack.
Ahoy!
He's nearly taken security's head off.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports is.
Ahoy, footy fans. How is everybody doing? Are we excited to have the NRL back? I know we are. And what a game we are in for tonight. The Sydney Roosters taking on the Brisbane Broncos. This game, I'm telling you, it's going to be a lot closer than people are anticipating. And by people, I of course mean Fox Media and their crew, who are talking up the Broncos like it's the second coming of Jesus Christ himself, with Maguire taking over the helm. But very quickly, chat room, ahoy there. Gamer Mel, ahoy Burko, ahoy there. Give me $5. And ahoy Natalie. And over on Twitch, we've got C4E1IN, who can't wait for the game. Geordie Aussie, ahoy mate. Holding up very, very well here. Excited for this game. Oh, now I need to go live on TikTok as well. Okay, there we go. TikTokers. DJ Shaq, ahoy. Wasted World of Sports, of course, live on YouTube, live on TikTok, live on Facebook, live on Twitch. Welcome along, whichever social media platform you're joining us from, and of course, wherever in the world you're joining us from as well. Of course, tropical. Well, it's actually, I've heard it's not a tropical cyclone anymore. It's sort of broken apart, and it's become a hybrid. And hybrid cyclones, apparently, see, I'm learning all this as it goes along, just like everybody else. A hybrid cyclone is going to do, it's got a lot more wind span. Whereas a tropical cyclone, most of the damage is done in the eye of the storm, so to speak. And the hybrid cyclones, more damage is done on the outskirts with the winds and whatnot. Jason Callaway, ahoy there, mate. Give me $5 is having a beer at 3 a.m. for the game. And I tell you what, give me $5. Your Roosters are not going to go as poorly as people are anticipating. Frank, did you see that they've changed the AFL and NRL fixtures that were moved? Yes, they have moved it. The Dolphins versus Rabbitohs game will now be played in Sydney. And then later on in the year, when the Rabbitohs play the Dolphins again, just flipped it. Smith, ahoy there. Smith says Broncos and Walsh. Richard Trainer says go the Roosters. The lineup doesn't look too bad, actually. Let's very quickly run through it. I mean, yes, okay, obviously the Roosters have had some big outs, but, I mean, they've still got James Tedesco, Daniel Tupou, and Dominic Young on the wings. Nawaqanitawase. Oh, God. I normally say his name so well. Nawaqanitawase in the centres, coming over from Rugby Union. Sandon Smith and Chad Townsend in the halves. And look at that forward pack. That forward pack is what impresses me the most. This is an origin level forward pack. Lindsay Collins, Naifa'u White, Angus Crichton, Victor Radley, Siu Wong, and Connor Watson at hooker. Certainly they're going to be able to hold their own. Obviously the Broncos have got Payne in the Haas and Pat Carrigan, but very little else in the forward pack. Walshy, ahoy mate. I'm just going to go back to calling him Marky Mark. Give me $5. That was you who put the fit. That's all right. Yes. Photos from Vegas in the Discord server. Styler, ahoy there. Ex-Styler. Welcome back. Nice to see you again. Sipping away on some better beer. Hunkered down for this cyclone that's on its way just a bit north of where I live. So everything's closed down at the moment in preparation. So I stocked up and hunkered down ready for the weekend. About 10 minutes away from kickoff here. Roosters versus the Broncos. And I do indeed have a multi on this game. I have got Angus Crichton. Michelle, ahoy there. I've got Angus Crichton anytime try. And I've also got a couple of combos. I've got Daniel Tupou and Dom Young. Either one can score a try and I get that leg. I mean, that's pretty easy, right? So I've got Dom Young and Daniel Tupou in a combo. And I've got Reece Walsh and the big D, Dane Mariner. Dane Mariner, the big D. Linked in a combo as well. I've taken it easy tonight because there were just so many options. If anybody's checked out the tips video that I did on YouTube, you'll know that my thoughts for this game are all over the place. It's going to be a tight one. I really, really do smell an ambush. I really do. Natalie Green, ahoy there. Go Roosters, says Natalie. I sniff an upset. I really do. Well, can you really call it an upset? Because we don't know. We don't know anything about how the Broncos are going to play. Apart from Ben Hunt and Madge Maguire, what is so different about this Broncos team that completely sucked last season? Madge has a history of losing his playing group after some early results. Will he get the early results? I don't know. I'm not as convinced as everybody else seems to be. I'm not jumping on the Fox bandwagon and pumping up the Broncos that much. I really don't think that they're third favourites to win the premiership. Let me put it that way. I think they'll make the 8. I really don't think they're I don't think either of these sides, though, in all honesty, are premiership threats this year. But both more than capable of making the 8. It is, whether we like it or not, it is the Storm and Panthers, and then a huge, huge batch of daylight for the chasing pack. So I'm expecting a good game. Marley Prime, I think, honestly, I think Vegas showed that the Sharks are still a little bit off. DJ Shaq says, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if both these sides missed the finals. And I'm 100% on board with that. I've pretty much mapped out how I think the Roosters season will go. If they do just enough to hang around the 8, maybe they could probably afford to fall as far as 10th throughout the halfway point, and then they get Sam Walker back. And when Sam Walker comes back and the Cheese comes back from their injuries, it'll be a completely different looking side. And I think they could go on a run. Dan Jam, ahoy, mate. Oh, a little bit difficult, Jason. You're asking a little bit much there, mate. Hang on, let me see. Because as you can see, I've got a brand new studio set up. And so I don't think I've got the multis on this screen yet. All right. I'll switch over momentarily so that if anyone wants to grab this multi, they can. Frank says, I reckon Penrith win their 5th premiership in a row. Certainly got a very good chance. 100% chance. George Alarm, ahoy, mate. Nice to see you again. About 6 minutes away from kickoff here. The Roosters and the Broncos. So, oh, what? Give me $5. Says we don't have sports bet here, so I can't. There's got to be the whole reason that the NRL is going to Vegas every year is to break into the betting market. So there's surely a bookie somewhere in America that you're able to place a cheeky little wager. Surely. I mean, that's the whole reason they're going there. They'll try and have you believe that it's for the expansion of the game into the American market. No, it's the expansion of the gambling money into the American market. Let's be real about that. Gino Ferracini, ahoy. How are you tonight? Lockie Mack says Broncos 13 plus, Hunt anytime try, Hobbo 2 or more. Jesus. Lockie Mack is obviously expecting that Ben Hunt Reynolds combination to click into gear straight away. See, I have a theory. And my theory is Ben Hunt is used to controlling a team at club level. He plays the hybrid role at origin level. We know this, and he does it extremely well when he's got that maroon jersey on and he is surrounded by other superstars. Is Ben Hunt at club level going to be able to share that role with Adam Reynolds? I mean, we'll find out. I just have a sneaky little suspicion that Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds are going to just trip over each other's feet for a couple of weeks, at least, while they get used to playing together. DJ Shaq says sports betting in the United States is dependent on which state you're in. Some have legalized it, others have not. Sounds incredibly familiar. XJC, ahoy, mate. Frank has got the Roosters winning. The early stages are definitely the time to be playing about with upsets. That's for sure. In the Wasted Water Sports tipping contest, wastedsports.com.au/games, where you can find a link to join our tipping and fantasy. Excuse me. For Super Rugby and NRL for season 2025. I'm off to a horrible start. The defending champion off to a horrible start. Haven't got a win yet. And I might not have a win after tonight either, because I've gone for the upset. I've gone for the Roosters to win. As the Broncos are out onto the field. Oh, the button says, I assume the 2-in-1 names were picking either one. You are correct, sir. You are absolutely correct. Player A or player B to score a try. And here we go. The Roosters, the home side, ready to come out onto the field. Somebody asked me earlier where this game was. This game's being played in Sydney. Angus Crichton, anytime try scorer. He has scored more tries against the Brisbane Broncos than any other club. 9 tries, I believe it is, across his career. The next closest is 7 against the Titans. He loves scoring tries against the Broncos and Queensland teams in general, apparently. Angus Crichton, I've got him crossing the line again tonight. Take your pick between the two wingers for the Roosters, Dom Young, Daniel Tupou. And take your pick. Reece Walsh is either going to break through a gap or he's going to break through the gap and score himself, or he's going to draw in Tedesco and put the big D in under the sticks. Kick off. Roosters versus Broncos. And the Roosters with the first hit up. And it's big bad Lindsay Collins who's driven backwards in a 3-man tackle. A couple of big bodies in there and he's lost the ball. He's lost the ball in the first tackle. Lindsay Collins. Aggressive defense from the Broncos early. A 4-on-1 tackle. And Lindsay Collins got himself all tangled up there. And he spills the ball on the first hit up. This moment in time, it could be match defining. This is a big, big set of 6. The Broncos will have the scrum down. 10 meters out, they break left immediately. Hunt, inside ball. Still 10 meters out. Paix out to Carrigan in midfield. Carrigan tries to go straight up the middle. No yardage made there. Still 10 meters out. Walsh in at first receiver. Inside ball for Ricky. And Ricky's held up in the 3-man tackle. 5 meters out here. Lined up to the left here, the Broncos. Carrigan in at first receiver, though. That'll slow things down. Payne in the house. Still 10 meters out here, the Roosters defense. Not having a lot of questions asked of them at the moment, though. Big defense, Victor Radley. Reynolds now to Carrigan. Walsh running across field. Walsh slips over. We're used to that happening. And that is the 5th and last. 20 meters out now. Oh, that's tackle 4, sorry. And now it's the 5th and last. In midfield, Hetherington plays it short side. Reynolds takes it to the line. Out the back to Walsh. Puts it to the big D, who is dumped by Daniel Tupou. And that is handover ball. The Roosters have answered. Really, really poor set of 6 there from the Broncos, it must be said. For a team that's got Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds really asking no questions of the Roosters there. The 2.5 minutes gone, the Roosters, they have repelled the first attacking raid. Can they get down the other end and ask some questions of their own? Kai Matheson, ahoy mate. 5th and last for the Roosters. 45 out from their own line. And a big kick needed here for the Chad. Not a lot of room to work with on that narrow side. Taken on the full at the back by Walsh. And Walsh runs straight into 3 Roosters defenders. Normally he tries to run around them. He has beefed up a little bit in the off-season, Reece Walsh, which you expect. I mean, he's still got growing to do. He's still young. And I couldn't help but notice that in the off-season, looking a bit bigger. UFC, ahoy, mate. Big defense from the Roosters. keeping the Broncos down to their own end for now. Carrigan at the back to Hunt. Hunt pops it up to Gazeski, whatever his name is. And he has driven back 10 metres in some huge Roosters defence. Reynolds forced to kick from his own side of halfway. And Tupou takes the high ball, gets those big giraffe legs pumping. And he's met hard by Carrigan. I've got to say, for a round one match, this has been some finals intensity defence to start. Conditions are very, very wet. Yes, it was raining in all the lead up to this game. From the coverage that I saw anyway. Lots and lots of rain in the lead up. Sir Angus, driven back in the tackle. Thumped on his head. Low play the ball. Bradley with the inside pass, and Collins takes it up over halfway. Down the short side here, Sandon Smith puts it high. A little too deep to be contestable. Walsh heads back across field, straightens, takes on the Chad, and the Chad stands firm. Well defended by the Roosters there. I got a little bit worried there, seeing Reece Walsh one-on-one with the Chad. And big defense again. Aggressive three-man tackle. Keeping the Broncos pinned down their own 20. Shibasaki brings it just short of the 30. This is good defense so far from the Roosters. They've definitely toughened up. Carrigan plays it. Paix goes quick. Has got Payne in the Haas with him. And Payne in the Haas. Now that is some good go forward. Fifth and last on halfway. Reynolds thinks about having a run. Puts it high. Contestable kick. Pressure at the back on Tedesco. Tedesco swamped. Roosters start their set from inside their 10. Dom Young. He's well contained. Low play the ball. The Broncos up quickly off the line. A little bit too quickly, perhaps. Tedesco down the short side. Got Sandon Smith. Wraps back around and gets the pop pass. 30 metres out from their own line. Bradley across to the Chad. Cut out pass. Creates some space now for the Roosters. 2-on-1. And stepping straight through goes Toia. He's got support from Dom Young on the outside. It's Dom Young versus Reece Walsh. Walsh comes back at him, but Dom Young steps back in field and scores in the corner. We have got a tick off the multi, and we have got the Roosters with the first try. A beautiful cutout pass from the Chad. The Chad Townsend. Boy, get him away from the Cowboys, and suddenly he looks like a world beater again. 4-0, the Roosters. The space created from Townsend, and Robert Toia has gone straight through. Some feeble edge defense from the Broncos. Reynolds. Oh no, that's Hunt. Oh, forgive me, Adam Reynolds. Ben Hunt has just been completely stood up. Well, he was worth the money. It's early days yet. Early days. JJ, ahoy, mate. A tick off the multi, nice and early. Dom Young charging down the sideline. And boy, do the Roosters look like they're up for this. Michelle, you've got Tupou, Teddy, and Walsh. Plenty of time left. Conversion attempt here from Sandon Smith. He's hooking it back around, and it hits the far upright and bounces away. So it remains 4-0. Oh, goal kicking is so crucial. Will that be a big miss? Mads, Unicorn Poopy, ahoy there. You had union training. Now you hope your fantasy goes good. Fingers crossed. Broncos get us back underway. There we go. I got the try up. A good start here for the Roosters. A good start for my multi. Yeah, Fa'u White up to the 40. They go quick from dummy half. Watson finds some space. Links up with Sandon Smith up over the halfway line. 10 minutes gone here. The Roosters up 4-0. Chad's going to kick early on tackle 4. It would have been nice if he let the rest of the team know. Walsh heads across field and is dumped by Siu Wong. A huge tackle. Knocked him on his head and probably broke his nail. And now Angus Crichton and Mark. Oh, penalty. Penalty, Broncos. They were inside the 10 on the kick chase. A huge let-off. A huge let-off here for the Broncos. Richard Trainer, you've got the number 4. Forgotten his name, but it's his debut. That would be Robert Toia, the man who set up the try. Toia, Young, Tupou, and Walsh. Roosters to win. Very nice. Oh, Lindsay Collins is busted open as Paix goes down the short side for Walsh. Walsh dancing around in midfield. Trying to link up with somebody, Walsh, and then he is swamped. The Chad over the top. Slowing down the play of the ball. Payne in the Haas, straight up the middle. Oh, he's a damaging ball runner. Tackle 4, 20 metres out. Paix brings it right to Hetherington. They're up quick on Reynolds. Reynolds is dumped. 5th and last. 15 metres out. Where's Ben Hunt for the kick? Here he is down the short side. Puts the grubber kick in behind the line. And perfectly positioned is James Tedesco. And he'll play the ball 5 metres out from the Roosters' own line. Oh, it's a head clash. That's why Lindsay Collins is bleeding. A head clash with Jordan Riki, it might have been. And Lindsay Collins came off second best. Expect him to go off for a HIA at the very least, if not both players. Watson scoops it up with one hand. Tedesco bumps off one and then falls over the player that he just pumped off. 5th and last, and the Chad from halfway puts this one low and flat and into touch inside the 20. Twelve and a half minutes in, the Roosters looking very controlled, very physical, and the Broncos just look a bit clueless at the moment. Maybe, just maybe, as I said in my video that I released, my tips video that I released on the YouTube channel before this game, maybe just too many cooks in the kitchen. Reynolds slots into dummy half. And Jordan Riki bumps away from one, brings it outside the 20. Carrigan straight up the middle. Big leg drive. Payne Haas gets the arms free and offloads. And there's Shibasaki breaking through tackles. He's brought down 40 metres out. Quick play the ball. Carrigan, Hetherington it was, sorry, bobbles the ball and now goes straight through. He's got no support and Victor Radley's out cold. Time off. Victor Radley's out cold. Victor Radley and James Tedesco have just had an almighty head clash in attempting that tackle, and Radley is down. That's the end of Victor Radley tonight, and that's a big loss for the Roosters. friendly fire. Tedesco and Radley have collided. And that is absolutely the end of Victor Radley. He will not be back. That was a nasty head clash. And they've also got Lindsay Collins, who's going to be surely off for a HIA at some point once the independent doctor gets involved. But that is the end of Victor Radley tonight. I can't imagine how he comes back from that. It'd take a very, very convincing argument to get him through a HIA and cleared to come back onto the field. He is still down. They've come back from commercial and he is still down. Well, this is a huge, huge loss for the Roosters. Victor Radley, who's going to come onto the field? Their interchange bench is very, very slim as far as quality goes. Zach Docker Clay, Blake Steep, Talesi Foketi, and Taylor Losalu. Good night, Victor Radley. And I'm very surprised that Lindsay Collins hasn't been called off for a HIA either. Oh, I shouldn't laugh, but poor Victor is just like pointing to his head. It's like, yes, Victor, we know that you're in La La Land. Defunk, ahoy, mate. Spinner Shark, ahoy. Fifth and last here, Broncos play at 10 out from the line. Reynolds puts the grubber kick in behind, and Tedesco does well in the slips to pick up that deflection off his teammate. The only reason I think Tedesco is still out there, I think it must have been shoulder. It must have been Tedesco's shoulder into Victor Radley's head. Otherwise, surely Tedesco has to come off as well for HIA. So Blake Steep is officially the replacement. Angus Crichton brought down in a three-man tackle. It's slow going here at the moment for the Roosters. Fifth and last, the kick from the Chad, just outside his own 30. And Reece Walsh takes it on the full, heads straight across field. And he links up with, who's he got there? Jesse Arthurs. And Jesse Arthurs is cut down. The Broncos start this set, 30 out from their own line. And you just felt that little shift. The Hetherington break, then the head clash, and the stoppage has really slowed down the Roosters. And the Broncos have just elevated just that little bit. Pace from dummy half, changes direction. They've got numbers here. And down the blind side goes Arthurs. Support inside from Shibasaki. And just as I was talking about the momentum swing, Shibasaki scores under the sticks. And the Broncos have hit back. And I see Reece Walsh is still being a complete goof and over-celebrating tries. And Cory Paix, you have to wonder if Ben Hunt called for that ball. 3-on-2 down the short side. I thought he double pumped and went out there too fast. But no, it turned out to be perfect. And Shibasaki, well, who had him in the try scorer multi? Conversion from right in front should be easy. And that missed conversion, how crucial a role will that play? The pace on the edges, well, down that edge anyway, for the Broncos. Has Selwyn Cobbo touched the ball yet tonight? I don't think I've mentioned his name yet. Been very quiet down his edge of the field. Adam Reynolds, you'd think he was lining this up from the sideline. From just to the left of the post. Puts it straight down the middle. And the Broncos lead 6-4. But yes, for the Roosters, they haven't clicked back into this game with that stoppage for Victor Radley. Sucked all the momentum. J. Joe, ahoy, mate. And the Roosters through the Chad. Back underway. Big defense here. 3 Roosters on 1 poor hapless Bronco. Quick play the ball here for Carrigan. God, breaking news. Victor Radley ruled out. I think we knew that. The least surprising news update you could ever hope to receive. And that is a big, big out for the Roosters. Fifth and last here for the Broncos. The kick from inside their own half will be taken by Tupou on the full. And Tupou winds up the legs. But a wall of Broncos defenders there to greet him. 17 minutes gone. And here's Young out the back. Can't get the fend away from Ben Hunt. They've lost ground here on play 2. Staying on the short side. Marky Mark. Brought to ground just a couple of meters further upfield. Toia straightens. Still inside their own half. A couple of tackles left. Bad service there to Sandon Smith. Puts it through the hands. Victor Radley with the footwork. Bumps off Adam Reynolds, but he's brought down by Jordan Ricky. Fifth and last. The Chad will have to kick from inside the 40. He puts it straight down the middle. Walsh takes it on the full and heads back towards midfield. And again, Walsh, he's taken on 2 of the biggest men in the Roosters' defensive line. Hunt from dummy half. Thought he spotted half a gap. Penalty Broncos. Shocking. What a surprise. Penalty to the Broncos. The wily old veteran, Ben Hunt. With a little Milky Magoo there in midfield. And a healthy little piggyback down into Roosters territory. "40 meters out here from the Roosters line. Carrigan tries to bump away from the first defender. Makes a good solid 10 meters. Some ball handling here from Payne and the Haas. And Mariner will play at 25 out. The Broncos go on the attack again now. Ricky can't get the arm free. Plays it on tackle 4. Inside the Roosters 20. Carrigan in at first receiver. Flat pass to Hetherington. Fifth and last now in midfield. Paix, dummies left, goes right to Payne and the Haas. Popped it back in field for Paix. And Cory Paix scores beside the post. Catching the defense napping on this open side. And Payne and the Haas damaging. going to ground and offloading. Some great ball handling there. Why can't he do that sort of stuff when he's wearing sky blue? Some poor body language out there now from the Roosters. A lot of hands on hips. $10-4. The kick to come from right in front. He's supposed to be a workhorse for the Broncos as well. That's some Sonny Bill Williams stuff, that. Reynolds, another simple conversion. It's goal kicking practice at the moment for him. $12-4. So for the Roosters, they've got to find a way to regroup here. They have not. They just haven't responded. That stoppage for Victor Radley is when the game completely swung. The Roosters started well and truly in this contest. And then there was that prolonged stoppage. And they just didn't get back into the contest after that. Back underway anyway. 21 minutes gone. Excuse me. 25 out here, the Broncos. Now they spread it wide early. Reynolds out the back to Walsh. Walsh cuts them to pieces. He's going to go on his own here. Walsh in and away from Edwards. And Tedesco pats the ball back, and Reece Walsh, well, I talked about his decision-making, or lack thereof, in my warm-up video, and he couldn't have made a worse decision there in his life. Tedesco with the try-saver, and now a penalty to boot. And little Reese Weesey, he knows it as well. A thump on his hip. He had about 72 different players from his own team he could have passed it to. But he held on just a bit too long. He wanted all the glory for himself. And then doubling down by giving away the penalty, the Broncos have let the Roosters off the hook big time there. I think it would have been safe to say it would have been game over there. I mean, they are cutting the Roosters to shreds now. $40 meters out from the line. And a loose play the ball. Knocked on by Blake Steep. He's on for Victor Radley, so he's not even supposed to be on the field. And that is a shocker. Trying to get up and play it. And it pops straight out. And Lindsay Collins is indeed pumping out blood again from that cut under his eye. Broncos go short side from the scrum. And Walsh has a little dance and then surrenders in the tackle. Up towards halfway now, Ricky. Oh my God, that blood. Lindsay Collins, I'm sorry, has got to go off to the blood bin. He has got to go off and get stitched up properly. There is just so much blood. The Broncos get a 6 again. Reynolds straightens, gives it out to Hunt. Inside ball now for Mike Wazowski. Payne in the Haas. Straight up the middle. Bumps off Connor Watson. Watson comes back at him. But he's got some help there from another couple of big poppers. Hunt will put the kick in early. Dominic Young turns back and pats it dead. Spotting the space in behind there, Ben Hunt. And he's forced the goal line restart. "24 minutes gone. The Roosters started well, but they have been terrible since Victor Radley went off the field. Chad Townsend goes short. That's a good restart, but it's been taken down by Selwyn Cobbo. And Corn on the Cobbo now to almost go straight up the middle. And it's the first time we've actually called his name tonight. Down the short side, Walsh has another little dance. Low play the ball. Surprised it wasn't 6 again. Hetherington, 5 meters out. Paix runs across a couple of paces. The pass to Mike Wazowski. And he scores beside the post, and it's all happening a little too easy now. The Roosters just haven't woken up since that lengthy delay for Victor Radley. And that was just way too simple. Roosters defenders falling all over each other. Yeah, DJ Shaq. Mike Wazowski. Jack Gazeski, or whatever his name is. Monsters Inc., yes. $16 points to 4. Kick to come from right in front of the post. Goal kicking practice tonight for Adam Reynolds. Puts it over. And it is 18 points to 4. First try by Dominic Young. And then it's been the Broncos, 3 unanswered. Viking Axe, ahoy mate. Broncos try scorers have been Cory Paix, Jack Gazeski, but I call him Mike Wazowski. And who was the third one? Shibasaki. A familiar sight here with the Broncos kicking off. Gaz Johnson, ahoy mate. Down the short side, the Broncos bring it out to their 20 on play 3. Hetherington, they've gone back to basics this set here, the Broncos. Well, not this man. Not this man. Payne in the Haas goes straight through. Puts on some fancy footwork. Gets on the outside. Links up with Shibasaki. And they go to ground on the 5th and last. 45 out. Reynolds keeps it low and flat in behind Tedesco. Tedesco wants this to go into touch. It doesn't. It sits up. And Tedesco's copped one around the face from Payne Haas. The Roosters go quick from dummy half. Must be the next to score. The Roosters can't let this game get too far away from themselves. Crichton through the hands now to Marky Mark. Puts the foot down. Gets the pass back in field for Crichton. And Angus Crichton will play at 40 out from the Broncos line on play 3. Some good play there from the Roosters. Marky Mark fends off one. Backs away from another. And some good meters made there from Marky Mark. 30 meters out, he plays it. Tedesco heads across field. Links up with Steep Deep will take the final tackle, fifth and last. 25 metres out in midfield. Townsend on the right puts the chip in over the top. A contestable kick. Everyone's gone up for it, and it falls for the Broncos. Carrigan, 10 metres out. And Trent Robinson doesn't look happy. Understandable. He hasn't had a whole lot to be happy about since Victor Radley went down. It's been all Broncos. Payne and the Haas off for a well-earned break. Maybe some reprieve now for the Roosters, because it has been Payne Haas doing all the damage. Up to halfway, the Broncos through Corey Jensen. 29 minutes gone. Hunt will kick early again in behind Dom Young. One bounce and into touch inside the 20. And the Roosters will bring it back into midfield. Boy, I tell you what, if anybody's got Payne Haas in their fantasy team or their super coach team, he's had 2 clean line breaks, a try assist, multiple offloads, and so many running meters. I don't have anybody from this match in my fantasy team. Nobody. A penalty now to the Roosters. 30 minutes gone. And a penalty. 40 metres line on their own side of halfway. Chad will find touch 40 out from the Broncos line. So they've earned themselves 20 metres. Toia taps Tedesco. Passes it along the line. And the Roosters will play at 35 out in midfield. Townsend with the inside ball for White. White gets the offload. Back for Connor Watson. Cut out pass for Crichton. Crichton spills it. It's play on, though. It's gone backwards. Marky Mark out to Tupou. Tupou is brought to ground. 20 metres out from the line. Here's a chance for the Roosters. Oh, Angus Crichton's been called for a knock on. And it's coming back for a scrum to the Broncos. And the Roosters' ball handling has let them down again. They can't argue with it. I saw it happen straight away. There's the bobble. I am now more convinced than ever that Channel 9 commentators do have me on in the background in their box there. Because there is another nickname they've just stolen from me. "45 metres out, and Shibasaki's been called for milking." "Get up and play it," says the referee. Up over halfway goes Carrigan. There's a lot of players with blood on them, but I'm assuming that that's just Lindsay Collins' blood. I don't think this many players have been busted open. 2 tackles left here for the Broncos. Carrigan in midfield, holds the pass up. Now gets the offload away for Willison, who goes straight up the middle. And Townsend's done extremely well to bring him to ground. Fifth and last, 20 metres out. Paix goes to Reynolds in midfield. Chips over the top, looking for the post. But Tedesco's there. But Tedesco's brought to ground in the end goal. This is unrelenting pressure. "32.5 minutes gone. Reynolds just needed this a little further over to the right. If he gets that kick a little further right, try time Broncos. Townsend goes short again. He almost had success last time. This time it is successful. Tedesco's got the bat back and heads across into midfield where Cory Paix brings him down. "20 metres out now in midfield. A big charge forwards. Blow, play the ball. Jeez. That's better from Robert Toia. Staying on this left edge, they've spilt it. Sandon Smith knocks it on. And ball handling again in these conditions. Aside, it's been atrocious for the Roosters. Under no pressure there, Sandon Smith just getting a little ahead of himself. And Trent Robinson, he'll be pulling his hair out up there in the coach's box. Eli Hetherington, thank you very much for the roses. Cheers. Broncos, they go left. Walsh to the big D, and Mariner is driven backwards. The Roosters' defense did well there, sliding across. Walsh in at dummy half. Now heading across field, Shibasaki. Brendan Barker, ahoy mate. Shibasaki's been good tonight, replacing Kotoni Staggs. Thoughts on the Broncos lock? Kobe Hetherington. Not a family member of yours, is it? Tackle 4 here for the Broncos. 10 metres out in midfield. Carrigan to Willison. Xavier Willison spills it. Oh, penalty Broncos. They're offside. Tedesco can't believe it. Well, Tedesco's absolutely fed up with the officiating here. Tedesco is absolutely filthy with the referee. Oh, Eli Hetherington, it's your brother. We have family in the TikTok chat room. And are the Broncos going to take the 2 here? Surely not. They're not taking the 2, are they? They're taking the 2. This is incredible. I feel like rugby union and rugby league have completely flipped. The opening rounds of Super Rugby, where you would always expect them to take the points for penalty goal, they've been knocking them back and going for tries. And here, first opportunity, the Broncos have said, we'll have the 2, thanks. And they've extended their lead now to 20 points to 4. I don't understand what that does for them, to be perfectly honest. Dan Welton, thank you very much, mate. Welcome to the stands. Channel membership. Back underway, Ben Hunt takes the kickoff. If only he did that a few years ago. Well, it's more than a few years ago now, isn't it? Two and a half minutes until a much-needed halftime break for the Roosters. Carrigan takes on Angus Crichton. And up towards halfway they march. An early kick here on play 4. Tedesco tracks across for it, takes it on the bounce. And Tedesco is brought down by a good chase. 15 metres out from the line. Tom Young's back there. Broncos up quickly again. 2 minutes until the break. Another slow play of the ball. They're staying on the short side here. Tedesco outside to Marky Mark. Gets away from one. He's had some damaging runs tonight, Marky Mark. Tackle 4, just over halfway. Sandon Smith takes the line on. 5th and last. 40 metres out. Chad Townsend puts it high. Racing through after this is Tedesco. Tedesco bats it back. It's been touched by the Broncos. That'll be 6 more tackles. Tedesco goes up the middle. And he's brought down by Ben Hunt 5 metres out from the line. They're up so quickly, the Broncos. Townsend kicks across field for Young. Young loses about 10 metres. Poor play there from Chad. Through the hands is a much better option. There's a minute to go until the halftime break. A set restart. Front foot ball at last for the Roosters. Smith tries to get on the outside of Reynolds. Reynolds brings him down. 10 out from the line. Townsend, inside ball there for Lasalu. 5 metres out. Watson goes right to Townsend. Roosters are slipping all over the place. Tedesco puts the grubber kick in behind the line, and it is battered dead by Jesse Arthurs. The attacking line was a little too deep for that, Teddy. The attacking line was just a little too deep. Dom Young had no chance of getting there. Goal line restart here for the Broncos, and they will find touch. And that'll be halftime. So they've kind of ruined their last opportunity there, the Roosters. Halftime, 20 points to 4. And some soul searching to do here for the Roosters. They never got back in the game. They were into this contest up to their necks. And they just... oh, Alana Ferguson is the same size as Adam Reynolds. That's hilarious. They just never got back into the game. The stoppage for Victor Radley to be taken off the field, and then that was it. The Roosters just never recovered. Rock my balls, ahoy, mate. Halftime here, Roosters versus Broncos. Waste of Water Sports. Quick break. Very quick break. And be right back to sum up that first half after this. Halftime here, 20 points to 4. The Broncos in the lead. Brett on TikTok says Teddy looks frustrated, like he knows it's going to be a long season. He is extremely frustrated with the officiating, that's for sure. I don't recall ever really seeing Tedesco blow up at the officials before, to be honest. I mean, I'm sure it's probably happened, but, you know, there's certain players where it's no surprise to see them have a crack at the officials. Think about Cameron Smith or Jonathan Thurston when they were playing. Think about Blocker Roach, if we want to go back even further. Cameron Munster and Clint Gutherson, they're always flapping their arms around and getting up in the officials' faces. You don't normally see that from Teddy. That is a clearly frustrated player. And I can kind of understand it. The Roosters' performance has been very frustrating, but at the same time, I can understand his frustration. James Graham, says Richard Trainer, another one. James Graham's another one, yes. DJ Shaq says Cameron Smith was the GOAT of referee backchat. Actually, one of my favorite moments, if anybody listens to Brandy and Vossi on SEN, I think it's the radio network, but they do YouTube stuff as well. They put all their YouTube shows up. They put all their radio shows up on YouTube. Is it SEN? I think it is. And one of my favorite moments was when Brandy and Vossi had Cameron Smith on. They used to do a regular segment with Cameron Smith on, and they were talking about officiating. And Brandy Alexander says, now, Cameron, as what I've got to ask you this, because I think you're the best person to answer as one of the all-time greatest officials to have ever played the game. Fantastic stuff. I mean, obviously, you had to be there. You had to actually be listening to it to appreciate it fully. But Cameron Smith, he was a champ about it all. He found the humorous side of it, just like we all did. Rubbish on the face. Do I remember rubbish on the face? I don't recall that off the top of my head. DJ Shaq. Mr. Star, ahoy there. Welcome along. Round 22, 2019. Boy, you've got a good memory. Set Taj says Walsh has been shocking. Oh, look. I am the first person in the world lining up to put the boots into little Reese Weesey. But I wouldn't say he's been shocking. I mean, he had one truly shocking moment where he was a ball hog. He wanted to score the try himself rather than pass it off to one of the 72 teammates that he had unmarked in support. I wouldn't say that his performance has been shocking overall, though. There was that one very, very clear moment, which obviously brings his rating down. And honestly, just ask anybody. Ask anybody else in the chat room that has been even a semi-regular of this channel, and you will know that I have no love for Reece Walsh. But yeah, I think shocking is a bit harsh. That was a terrible, terrible moment, though, that one particular moment. Richard Trainer says, I would say Michael Innes played for the Bulldogs. No, he was a pest. I will not hear a word said against Michael Innes, absolute champion player. As a Shark supporter, I will not hear a word said against anybody who played for us in 2016. Nothing at all bad to say about them. Bad commentator. Innes is just... See, here's the problem. The problem that Channel 9 and Fox have is the agenda. The agenda that they have to push. You know, I would love to sit down. With some of these people away from everything, completely off the record, and just ask them, okay, look, you're a legend of the game, but you talk so much bollocks. What do you really think? Because I know they're telling you to say this stuff. You're controlled by the people you work for to say how amazing Reece Walsh is, even though he's really not, etc., etc. I would love to have conversations with these blokes away from the game, completely off the record, and just say, look, man to man, honestly, what do you really think? What are your honest opinions? Completely off the record. And I dare say that for 90% of the commentary team, it would be in direct contrast to the stuff they say on the telly. Oh, God, do I think Angus Crichton will get over? I mean, obviously, I've got Angus Crichton in my multi. And he is a prolific try scorer against the Broncos. But the Roosters, they need to kick up the pants. The Roosters were into this game up to their necks. In the opening stages, their forwards were dominating. And maybe it was just the Broncos were slow to start. Maybe. But I couldn't help but notice that the Roosters completely went off the boil. There was that extended stoppage when Victor Radley went down. And after that extended stoppage, the Roosters just never clicked back into gear. It was all Broncos. The Roosters then had that chance. It was a gift given to them right before halftime. And I don't understand why Tedesco put the grubber kick through. Why did he put the grubber kick through? The attacking line was way too deep, way too angled back. Dominic Young was basically 45 degrees and 10 meters back from him. Jesse Arthurs is one of the quickest players in the game, and I know that Dom Young's quick as well, but easily Jesse Arthurs was going to be able to turn around and track that down. Through the hands was much better option. Richard Trainer says, I agree with you, he's a legend, but that he was one of the GOAT of talkback on the field. Yeah, but when he was wearing a Sharks jersey, that's fine, is what I'm saying. If you wear a Sharks jersey, it's allowed. Like Paul Gallen. Paul Gallen loved to have a crack at the officials, didn't he? But when Paul Gallen did it, it was passion. That's the difference. When other teams do it, they're just complaining. But when Gal did it, that was just his passion shining through. The Broncos definitely have the most experienced halves combination in the entire league at the moment. Just Franks says, what about Walsh losing the ball on a 4-on-1? It was hilarious. One of my biggest criticisms about Reece Walsh, apart from his defense, but on attack, is his decision-making. And look, in fairness, he will develop that as he goes along. I mean, that comes with experience. I mean, he will hope, you would hope that he learns from that moment. And in future, when he's got 72 unmarked players to pass to and one defender in front of him, that he passes the ball to somebody rather than trying to go on his own. Do I reckon the Broncos will make the grand final? I don't. I really don't. I've been saying before a ball had even been kicked off this season, and even including preseason stuff, that I think we just have to get used to the fact that it's going to be this, unless there's an injury catastrophe, it's going to be the Storm and the Panthers again. Ben Dog says why the Broncos were so good in 2023 was because they played simple footy with fight. Hands down. Hands down, a Broncos comment that I absolutely agree with. The Broncos, in fairness, I think 2023 they played above expectations. Why? Because as Findog just said, there was nothing really fancy about their gameplay. And look, when they got on top here in this game, they just went back to basics, didn't they? They went back to taking the kickoff, hitting it up, getting their kick in, turning the opposition around. I mean, Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds are two orchestrators of that sort of play. And it worked out for them at the second quarter of that first half. Give me $5, says my favorite time was when Paul Gallen backtalked in 2012, Origin 2, I think when the video ref gave Queensland a try when the ball was lost. Oh, I think I remember that one. I wasn't watching at the time, Mr. Chuchi says the only way I'd be happy for Broncos to make the grand final is if Ben Hunt can drop it and lose it for them again. I'm actually surprised that, I can't recall if it happened or not. No, because the Broncos kicked off. I actually said, wouldn't it be funny if, wouldn't it be hilarious if the Roosters, with the very first kickoff, kick it wherever Ben Hunt is standing, kick it to him. Even if they're protecting him up the front of the line, go short. Make sure that first kickoff in a Broncos jersey goes to Ben Hunt. Anthony Minicello, Roosters and Blues legend. Second half coming up. Can the Roosters respond? They're under a lot of pressure. Let's not forget that they are without Spencer Leniu as well. There are some big outs for this team. You hope so? What? Am I reading that correctly? You hope so? Hang on. Is that our Wasted World of Sports Michelle cheering against her own team? Wow. Mr. Chuchi says Marky Mark has been good this game so far. 100%. The Roosters have had some great players involved in this game. Robert Toia as well has been very, very solid. Robert Toia was a little bit of an unknown. Second half is underway. The Roosters with the kickoff. They need to get their hands on the ball early and get across the line. They must be the next team to score. Trailing by 16. Big defense here to start the second half. Keeping the Broncos pinned down. Carrigan put on his back for tackle 3. But they're up to the 30. Willison's picked up and dumped on. No, he's not. He almost was. He manages to regain his feet, though, in the air and goes to ground on 2 haunches. Fifth and last now for the Broncos, just short of halfway. And Walsh has dropped it. Reece Walsh has dropped it. And the Roosters, they do indeed have a chance early. Thank you, Reece. A little knock on the arm, says Billy Slater, trying to stick up for his boy. No, sorry, Billy. He dropped it cold. Scrum down here for the Roosters in midfield. 5 meters inside Broncos territory. Shut up, Slater, says Michelle in the chat room. They go left from the scrum. Marky Mark in at first receiver. Driven towards the sideline. Offloads for Tupou. Angus Crichton running across field. Goes to ground for play 2. 45 meters out. And straight up the middle, Lasalu stands in a 3-man tackle, looking for a quick play of the ball. They've slowed it down well around the ruck tonight, the Broncos. Watson changes direction, links up with Smith. Numbers to the left, but Reynolds wraps the ball up well. All the experience in the world of Adam Reynolds. Sandon Smith out to the Chad. Inside ball for Siu Wong, who almost breaks through. Fifth and last. 15 out. Watson to Sandon Smith. Back to Watson. Keeps it alive to the Chad. Now they've got numbers to burn out the left. It's a 3-on-1. Tedesco goes to Angus Crichton, and Crichton spills it. Reece Walsh picks up the scraps, and it's tackle 1, 10 meters out, but looking a lot better there, the Roosters. I don't really understand how they've gone and balls that up, but geez. Gone on the Cobbo. Put on his back, 20 meters out. Low play the ball. Willison beats one. Does a little hurdle over that first defender. And Walsh is hobbling in back play. Must have chipped the paint on his toenails or something. Paix to Carrigan. Tackle for Reynolds. Inside ball for Jordan Ricky. Almost gets the arms free and the offload away, but he goes to ground. Fifth and last, just inside their own half. They're going to run here on the fifth and last. The chip in over the top. Bounce back for Reynolds. Puts the toe to it. Cobbo puts the toe to it. And Corn on the Cobbo picks it up and scores. But was he onside? It's going to go up as a try. They found some space, deciding to run it on the fifth and last. The kick in over the top. Now, was Cobbo onside? Oh, yes, he was. By a mile. And Corn on the Cobbo plants it down. And it'll be hard to come back from here, it must be said. Hard to come back from here now for the Roosters. 24 points to 4, the kick to come. There we go. Another simple conversion. It's a little bit out, but it should be a simple conversion here for Reynolds. He's had some goal kicking practice. And he puts another one down the middle. 26 points to 4. But, hey, we've seen the Broncos lose from situations like this before. But in fairness, there's no Nathan Cleary tonight. And Nathan Cleary was a pretty big difference maker in that game. So was Stephen Crichton, actually. Stephen Crichton, the underappreciated contributor to that grand final comeback. I always say that. Roosters in very familiar territory, kicking off. And the Broncos hitting up. Kishaw says, what do I think Dane Mariner and Reece Walsh going to score a try? The way it's going at the moment, the entire Broncos backline could end up with tries before the end of the night. They are just carving up way too easily. Hunt down the short side. Puts the kick in. It's going to sit up in goal for Tedesco, who loses the ball out the back. And Dom Young cleans it up, has to run over the dead ball line. And it will be a goal line restart. The Roosters are absolutely under the pump here. Angus Crichton being called out here. On report, Angus Crichton. And it will be a penalty to the Broncos, because why not? Why change the habit of a lifetime? Penalty Broncos. I don't think it matters a whole lot at this point anyway. Broncos fine touch. 20 meters out from the line. They tap and go. 6.5 gone here in the second half. Carrigan in at first receiver to Willison running off his shoulder. Willison brought to ground, 10 out. Here is Corey Jensen now in front of the posts. 5 meters out. Broncos attack left. Reynolds holds the pass up. Heads back across field. Puts the kick in behind. Needs it to sit up. And over the top of it dives the big D. But Corn on the Cobbo gets a double. Corn on the Cobbo gets a double. Out of nowhere. Out of absolutely nowhere. Corn on the Cob. And where did this try come from? Reynolds changing direction. Puts the kick in behind the line. The big D was flying through. I thought that was his. And what a start to the second half here. Corn on the Cobbo gets a double. Ah, God. Well, Broncos fans, leave some grand final tickets for the rest of us, huh? Leave some of those grand final tickets on sale. A double for Corn on the Cobbo. Well, Angus Crichton, I think he had his chance. Just talking about my multi here. I think he had his chance late there in the first half. Adam Reynolds with the toughest kick of the night so far. But it's still not a difficult one. And he puts it through for a 32 points to 4 lead. Weirdo says, oh, it's the Warriors all over again. Him here for the try scorers. There we go. We're running out of space here. Broncos need to slow down a bit. Running out of space. All right. Well, there's still so much time left in this game. You know what they say, if you get 50 put on you, you're done. They could get 50 and more here. They could get well more. Walsh with the offload of Ricky. They're just tearing in the shreds now. Ricky needs support. Tackle 4. 35 out from the Roosters line. Sean Hewitt, ahoy mate. Change of direction from Carrigan. And he is wrapped up and... Oh, no, he doesn't. He gets the ball away. Paix to Willison. Willison goes straight over the top. And he'll get up and play the ball quickly. A metre short. Paix goes quickly. And they've spilt it over the line. The Roosters come away with it on 0 tackle. Oh, no, handover. They come back out to the 10. 50 minutes gone. 28 points the difference. Been a massacre. Zach Docker-Clay ready to come onto the field. And Mark, well, he has been close to one of the Roosters' best. He's tried hard all night. And another damaging run. Tedesco brings it outside the 40. Play 3. Docker-Clay straight out of dummy half. Goes up over the halfway line. A couple of tackles left here for the Roosters. Tedesco gets the nice ball up to Lasalu. 6 more tackles late in the count. And now the ball is dropped. They had just got given 6 again. And the Roosters lose it. Anyway, poor old Tedesco. Tedesco is really not happy with the officials here. And I can understand. Challenge unsuccessful. "50 minutes gone. 32 points to 4. The Roosters have just lost their captain's challenge." Oh, they had just got a 6 again call as well, the Roosters. Ever since the Victor Radley stoppage and him leaving the field, it has just gone bad to worse for the Roosters tonight. It was a big, big momentum shift, that moment in the game. Before that happened, they were into this game up to their necks. Hunt heads across field, links up with Walsh. Walsh, as he normally does, slips on his ass. And he's brought down just inside Roosters territory. Hunt in at first receiver now to Payne in the Haas. Another big run. They can't bring him down. Now he finally goes to ground in a 3-man tackle. Fifth and last. Reynolds, 40 out in midfield, puts it high. Contestable kick. Tupou. It's lost forward by Mariner. And now Marky Mark can't escape. And they'll call the knock on. Handover in a much better position. So 52 minutes gone. 28 points the difference. Angus Crichton down the short side. Makes some good meters. Tedesco in at first receiver. Kane down the short side. Docker Clay goes to Sandon Smith. Smith up over halfway. He's got Marky Mark who flicked past to Tupou. Tupou puts the kick in field. Needs the bounce for Docker Clay. Ben Hunt's back. And Hunt brings it back into the field of play. What was Ben Hunt even doing back there? That's the question. Arthur's brought to ground on play 2. 10 meters out from their own line here, the Broncos. Tackle 3. Willison, straight up the middle. He's a big unit, but you'd expect him to do more damage. Payne in the Haas. Now that is a damaging run. Still going, Payne Haas. Oh, he's immense, that man. 40 meters out from their own line, 5th and last. They're going to go through the hands again. They've got a 3-on-2, and they open them up again on the 5th and last. Mariner fires the pass into midfield. They're keeping it alive. Ben Hunt, now an opportunity down this near side. Arthurs cuts back in field. Dominic Young tries to trip him. The pop pass over the top for Ben Hunt, and Ben Hunt scores in the corner. The Broncos have gone from edge to edge, running it on the 5th and last. And Ben Hunt has scored in the corner. "54 minutes gone, another try. If grand final tickets are on sale, they've just been sold out by all the Brisbane supporters. Ben Hunt scoring in the corner. "36 points to 4. We're out of space. We've run out of room on the scoreboard. Logs says, who scored a try for the Broncos? I don't watch footy, but I have a bet on. Oh, God, too many of them. Too many of them to name. Ben Hunt just scored that one. It'd be a lot easier, honestly, at 36 points to 4. It'd be a lot easier if you just tell me who you've got the bet on, and I can say yes or no. There's been that many try scorers for the Broncos. Once again, running on the 5th and last. Okay, you've got Reese. Well, he hasn't. And somebody with a really long last name. For a really long last name for the Broncos. Interesting. Well, the longest last names is Reynolds misses his first of the night. Adam Reynolds missing his first of the night. And it's 36 points to 4. The longest names for the Broncos would be Shibasaki or Hetherington. $36 points to 4. Oh, okay. For the Roosters, Mark Nawaqanitawase. No, Mark Nawaqanitawase. That guy, yeah. He doesn't play for the Broncos. But yes, he definitely has a very long name. $36 points to 4. And the Roosters have had a lot of restart practice tonight. Willison trying to get some go forward. Tackle 3, 20 metres out. Payne in the Haas. He has been immense tonight. Close to player of the match. 30 metres out, he plays it. Walsh is in at dummy half. Down the short side, they've opened them up again. Arthur's in space. He's got Walsh in support inside, and Reece Walsh will score the try. Reece Walsh scores. And the Broncos have got another one. It's another tick off the multi. I don't like my odds of Angus Crichton scoring tonight. And the Roosters have just been absolutely cut to ribbons. $40 points to 4. Conversion to come. Has Jesse someone scored? No, he hasn't. Jesse Arthurs has not scored. Jesse Arthurs was just involved in that play. He passed the ball to Reece Walsh. All right, there is still a quarter of this game to go. There's still 20 minutes to go. Reynolds misses another one. He doesn't like it over this side of the field. This side of the field, of course, is where Reynolds missed the conversion that would have tied the game and sent it into extra time. The grand final, Bunnies versus Panthers. 40 points to 4. A Channel 9 vote. Will the Broncos return to the finals? 69% have said yes. Roosters. They go short with the kickoff. It's been taken down by Tupou. Tupou will play it. 38 out on that far edge. Mark. as the Roosters get a 6 again. 30 metres from the line. Can they get themselves on the board? Is Angus Crichton even still on the field at the moment? Is my multi on? Townsend to Fiketti out the back to Tedesco. Tedesco goes at his own. This is always a big problem for the Roosters. When they're under the pump, 6 more for the Roosters. When they're under the pump, Teddy tries to overplay his hand a little bit, and he gets involved way too much in the attacking line. And it just kills the plays, in my opinion. 10 metres out. Watson with the short ball to Fiketti. Almost broke through. 5 out from the line. Docker Clay, the crash ball, goes to Sandon Smith. And Sandon Smith, of all people, has scored the try. The Roosters have finally got themselves on the board. In the second half, I mean. They were already on the board. 40 points to 8 with the kick to come. Will Main, ahoy, mates. I am absolutely fine, mate. Yes. The cyclone is very, very north of where I am. We're still going to cop a lot of wind and a lot of rain. But we're well clear of the impact zone. It doesn't mean that there's no threat. It's well north of where I am. So we're just going to cop a lot of wind, a lot of rain. I'll probably lose power at some point over the weekend. Because we always lose power here. Even in just regular storms, we lose power, let alone cyclones. So I'm expecting to lose power at some point over the weekend as Sandon Smith can't convert his own try. It's 0 for 2 from the kicking tee for Sandon. It's 40 points to 8. The Broncos over the Roosters. Defunct says, this is a crazy blowout. I did not see this playing out. I did not see it playing out like this. Divjot Singh, ahoy, mates. So there's still 20 minutes to play here. And, there's no hope of a comeback unless the Roosters can start kicking some goals. If they put some conversions over. Lindsay Collins. Still bleeding. Tupou brings it outside the 20. Can't get the arms free. And a good charge there from Siu Wong. Fiketti up over the 40. 4 tackles gone. Connor Watson in at first receiver. Out to Sandon Smith. Angus Crichton up over halfway on a good charge. Dumped on his back for the 5th and last. It looks like the Chad lurking on the inside, looking for this chip over the top. Taken by Reece Walsh at the back. And Walsh will play at 25 out. The Broncos back in possession. Lost the ball, and it sits up now for Toia. And Toia cuts back in field, fends off a couple. Robert Toia's close to the line. He's half a metre short. They're going to have a look at this. It looks like Robert Toia was just short of the line to me, but they're having a look just to make sure. He doesn't seem confident. He might have lost it. On-field call of no tries. Yeah, Robert Toia's already back, ready to play this ball. Anon, 27-70. There's new Broncos would win, but didn't think they'd be getting slapped by this much. Same here, mate. I thought it would be close. I really, really picked the Roosters to cover the line here. But the Victor Radley, I mean, let's be honest. The Victor Radley injury is where it all fell apart for them. They were in the match until that stoppage for Victor Radley, and then for whatever reason, whether they just cooled down too much or what, I don't know what happened. But when Victor Radley went off and that big delay was there to get him off the field, the Roosters just never came back. Tedesco taken down 10 meters out. Tackle 3, Townsend. Out into Connor Watson in midfield, and now for Ketty. We'll play it on tackle 4. Quick from Docker Clay, catching them napping. Docker Clay, half a meter short. 5th and last. Penalty to the Roosters from right out in front. Take the 2. Take the 2. They tap and go. Oh, no. They're told to go back. Can't take it quickly. Docker Clay, 10 meters out in midfield. They go left for Sandon Smith. Mark gets away from one. Oh, second effort there. That'll be another penalty. Adam Reynolds, the veteran. I can't believe that wasn't a penalty. Not even a set restart. Townsend. I mean, in total fairness, the Broncos have gotten away with murder tonight. The referee has definitely not pinged them for stuff you would expect. Tedesco to Toia. Toia almost cuts back in over the try line. He's brought to ground half a meter short here on play 3. Collins is used as the decoy. They go out the back. And, Chad Townsend is dumped by Payne Haas, who is offside. And a penalty to the Roosters. Payne and the Haas through way too quickly. The tap and go. Tedesco. In midfield. 5 meters out. Docker Clay goes left for Watson. Watson ducks under the tackle of Willison. Pops it out the back for Docker Clay. And he is held up by Payne and the Haas. 5 meters out in front of the post. The Roosters have looked a lot more fluent in attack with Docker Clay as Mark now spills it. And the Broncos break away upfield. Mark with his first mistake of the night. Born on the Cobbo down the short side. Bumps off one. Hurdles over another. And he's brought down 40 out. From their own try line here, the Broncos. 40 points to 8. 15 minutes remaining. Hunt takes the line on. And he's brought down just shy of the halfway line. Paddy Carrigan, a good strong carry up into Roosters territory. Down the short side, they scamper. Billy Walters will take the 5th and last. 30 meters out. Hunt out to Reynolds. Puts the chip in over the top. Needs the bounce. A push in the back has got to be a penalty, Roosters. Well, it's not going to be. It's going to be a goal line dropout. But they can't buy a penalty here at the moment, the Roosters. A clear push in the back, and the referee just said, who cares? Goal line dropout. Roosters, they go quickly. Send it deep. There's nobody at the back. Reece Walsh once again horribly out of position. Xavier Willison's back there. And Willison's brought down in a great legs tackle by Tedesco. They'll play the ball on halfway. Payne and the Haas is rocked in the tackle by Robert Toia. That's a huge hit. That's Payne in the Haas that he's just put on his back. Arthur's down the short side. On play 3, 30 meters out. Shibasaki in midfield takes a hit up. 25 meters out, right in front of the post. Walters comes to the left edge with Payne Haas. Haas fends off one. Still going. Haas runs back across field. Needs to link up. There's Walsh. Walsh holds the pass up perfectly for the big D. And Nawaqanitawase is well tackled. And he's into touch. No, he's still in field. A try saver from Sandon Smith on Nawaqanitawase. Fifth and last, Reynolds kicks back into midfield. The Broncos bat it back down. And now Jesse Arthur scores in the corner. Jesse Arthur scores in the corner off the bat back. I would love a closer look at Nawaqanitawase. Oh, we're going to get it. We're going to get a closer look. Nawaqanitawase literally millimeters out from going into touch. Oh, he's gone into touch. He's gone out. He's gone out there. Right in front of the touch judge. Nawaqanitawase has gone into touch and they've let it go. Jesse Arthur scores on the opposite edge of the field from the kick. But it's all largely irrelevant at this point in time. But just more points for the Broncos. Try confirmed, because obviously they can't go back that far to check the touchline from a tackle ago. $44-8. And the kick to come from the sideline. 12 minutes to go. This, one of the more difficult kicks of the night for Adam Reynolds. And he hooks it back right down the middle. He's had a couple of practice shots from out on this side. And he puts this one over 46-8. We got 12 minutes for Angus Crichton to continue his try-scoring run against the Broncos. But it's not looking good at the moment. Jack Jones, 7, says that score is crazy. Certainly is. Roosters go short again. Tap back by Dom Young, but it's there for the Broncos. Billy Walters has dived on it, I do believe. And the Broncos have it on halfway. It was almost there. Almost there for the Roosters. Jordan Ricky takes it up over halfway. Carrigan holds onto the ball. Dummy the pass. And he's met hard in a 3-man tackle in midfield. 40 meters out. Can the Broncos crack 50? Reynolds with the inside ball to Walsh. Walsh goes to ground. Oh, he gets a penalty for messing up his hair. And they've had something to say about it too here, the Roosters. A penalty here for touching Reece Walsh. That might be the softest of high tackle penalties I've ever seen in the history of the game. Broncos 20 meters out. Reynolds to Haas. Haas with amazing ball handling tonight. Payne Haas has got to be close to man of the match. Hunt thought he spotted half a gap. Gets it back for Walters. Walters to Reynolds. Reynolds dummies in midfield. Scooped up by Mike Wazowski. And now Payne in the Haas again flicks the pass back to Shibasaki. And they are, this is like playing Rugby League Low 4 at the moment on rookie level. The ease with which the Broncos are offloading and finding gaps. Reynolds heads across field. He's got Walsh. to Mariner. Mariner to Corn on the Cobbo. Corn on the Cobbo brings up the 50 for the Broncos. And the annihilation is complete. Corn on the Cobbo with a hat trick of tries. Oh, God. Honestly, are grand final tickets on sale? I mean, please leave some for the rest of us Broncos supporters. Because I know Broncos supporters are out there making grand final plans right now. I know it's happening. You can try to lie to me, but I'm on to you. I know how it goes. You guys are already checking out flight plans. Try confirmed in the corner. 50 is up. Eight minutes to go, just over 8 minutes for this disaster to finish for the Roosters. I would love to know what happened, like when Victor Radley left the field. Like, what happened? Because they were on, the Roosters were in this game. They were winning. They were in this game. And then Radley went down and there was that prolonged stoppage, and it has been all Broncos ever since. I mean, surely the Roosters' game plan does not revolve that heavily around Victor Radley. I can't imagine it. I would love to know what happened when Victor Radley went down, why they just never came back after that stoppage. Reynolds is hooking it back around, but not enough. And it's just out past the near upright. Jenna, Talia, ahoy there. How are you doing there, mate? James, you'd be far enough south to be out of any sort of concern for Alfie, wouldn't you? Oh, you got home from work. Just got home from work. Welfare check on Vobsy. Billy Walters out of dummy half. 8 minutes to go. Well, Broncos have scored 50, so the Roosters are out of premiership contention. I mean, we all know the saying, right? We all know the saying. If you get 50 put on you, you're done. Roosters done in round one. Fifth and last, Reynolds. They're going to run again on the... oh, no, they're not. Now Reynolds takes it to the line, puts the kick in, and he has overcooked it. And Tedesco will run it back for a 7-tackle set. Taps and goes quickly. Space down this right side, but he goes on his own, Tedesco. Penalty to the Roosters. He taps and goes quickly, and another penalty, and that's got to be straight off for Brendan Piakora, and it is. Piakora, a professional foul. Straight off he goes for 10. Well, can the Roosters take advantage and get some consolation points on the board with a man advantage? Brendan Piakora is still walking down the sideline with his arms out like, what? What happened? He obviously doesn't understand the rules of the sport that he plays professionally, because everyone and the family dog knows that he was going to the bin there for that. Apparently everyone in the world, apart from Brendan Piakora, it would seem. Can't understand what he did wrong. Anyway, Madge needs to walk him through the rule book, perhaps. Townsend to Tedesco, out the back to Toia. Toia, dummies. And he's brought to ground 10 meters out. Play 4. Townsend Fires the ball across to Watson in midfield, to White now on the crash ball. Fifth and last. Townsend. The double pump out to Toia. Now Dom Young swivels away. And did he get it down, Dom Young? He doesn't seem confident. He doesn't seem confident, the big man. It's been awarded, but we will obviously have a closer look. Well, I can't tell whether he just doesn't look confident or if he realizes there's absolutely nothing to celebrate in this situation. He did manage to swing away from that one tackle. Feel like he might have lost it. We need a closer look. Body language is usually the giveaway. And he might have his arse cheeks in touch here. Gone up as a try though, so we need. Yeah, he's in touch. I think his arse is in touch. Damn it, Dom Young. Do some squats, mate. You've got to pull that arse in. I think this is going to get awarded, though. It'd be hard to overturn. I personally think his butt cheeks are in touch. But I'd be more than happy to see this try stand. Try is confirmed. I still reckon that his cheeks were on the dead ball line, personally. I got to say. Try's been confirmed. Anyway, it's been given. Sandon Smith from the sideline kicks his first goal of the night. 50 points to 14. Four and a half minutes just under remaining in this game. We completely ran out of space on our scoreboard here. I wonder if Brendan Piakura is still wandering down the sideline asking people what he did wrong. We need to check in on that. And did someone run on the field? You know, when they cut the camera away from the field, it usually means something's going on out there. I wonder if some goof ran out there. We did ask about that welfare check on Vobsy. Maybe Vobsy's just come running out, tried to clean up Renault or something. He's not allowed, is he, DJ Shaq? Because he got set for 10. It wasn't a straight send-off. It was 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure he has to stay on the sideline, even though it's obviously the end of the game for him. I think. I could be wrong about that. But I think because it was only 10... Oh, no, wait. Oh, sorry, I'm still in rugby union mode. We've been doing all the Super Rugby. It's rugby union where they stay on the sideline, isn't it? Rugby league, they get to go into the sheds no matter what. My bad. I'm still in Super Rugby mode. Fifth and last here for the Roosters. The ball is high down the middle of the field. It's been tapped back by the Roosters. Play on. Docker Clay to Sandon Smith. Out to Tupou, and Tupou scores. No, it's a penalty, Broncos. It's a penalty, Broncos. Zach Docker Clay's been called offside. They have no challenge remaining. And, yeah, he was quite clearly offside there. There can be no argument about that. Absolutely no argument about that. It was a penalty, Broncos, but that is one that even I can't make a case for. I can't defend that one. I mean, I can't, you know what I mean? I can't argue against that one. That was pretty clear cut. Touch finder just short of halfway. Reece Walsh should be sent to prison for that excuse of a moustache that he's got going on. Jesus Christ. Somebody tell him that if he shaves that off for another couple of years, it'll grow in as strong as he wants, and he'll have it like he'll have a moustache like Regan Campbell-Gillard. That just looks ridiculous, that little bum fluff that he's got going on there on his lip. Carrigan pops the ball back for Corn on the Cobbo. Now, out to bum fluff Walsh. Fires the cutout pass for Arthurs, who cuts back in field, and he's brought to ground 5 meters out. Quick play the ball. Walsh puts the kick straight down the chest of Lasalu. It now falls away, and it's back in possession of the Broncos. And he's hurt himself, Walsh, again. He doesn't like contact, this kid. Five meters out from the line, the Broncos looking for more points. Reynolds to Corn on the Cobbo. Wants a fourth, the greedy bastard. Share it around, mate. Hunt out a dummy half. Kick in behind. No fullback here for the Roosters. Angus Crichton bats it dead. There's a minute to go. And once again, we're going to be one leg short of the multi. How often do we get one leg short of the multi? Honestly, it's painful. Oh, excuse me. So, Broncos fans, how are those flights to Sydney? Have you? I mean, because you guys have definitely done pricing, right? You guys have already priced out flights and accommodation. I'm sure of it. Don't lie to me. Don't be lying to me, Broncos fans. You've priced it all out. You might try and hide the excitement, but you guys are excited, right? You guys are excited about what you saw tonight. Time is up. High fives all around. The Broncos have put on a clinic. 50 points to 14. They have absolutely annihilated the Roosters here. 50 points to 14. We'll have a quick break here on the Waste of World of Sports. And we will be back to just try and process what we witnessed right after this. God, I'm turning the TV off before Reece Walsh gets on there. Hello? Am I live? Did I say that? I said the loud part. I said the quiet part loud. What is it? Hang on. What's the Krusty the Clown? I've screwed up my whole bit. Anyway, Waste of World of Sports, welcome back. 50 points to 14. Insanity here. Realistically, the Roosters are better than that. I don't know what happened when Victor Radley went down, but it changed the entire course of the game. And it certainly didn't change it for the better for the Sydney Roosters. What an absolute smashing. It is, of course, only round one, and there's plenty of time to go in this competition. But as they say, if you have 50 scored against you, that's pretty much you done. So it's probably the Roosters done. Robert M, our stats man in the back. Ahoy, mate. Tip to the Broncos. This will be our year, I reckon. I told you. Didn't I tell you? The Broncos supporters piling out of the woodwork. They've checked their flights. They've checked their accommodation, and they are just waiting for the second those grand final tickets go on sale. A very dominant performance here tonight, 50 points to 14. I mean, you can't argue with the scoreboard. Pain in the hearts for mine, hands down, man of the match. I don't know if anybody agrees with that or not. Robert M., channel member for 18 months. Cheers, my friends. I will drink to that. And I'll finish this one off since it's so close. To Robert M., our stats man in the back. Ah. Yes, Robert M., you've battened down the hatches. Well, anyway, at least Robert M., the good news at least is it's moved further north and it's been downgraded to a category 1 by the time it passes over landfall. So at least that's a little positive. And fingers crossed it stays that way. Oh, I don't think they're contenders. Hang on. Let me read your comment properly, DJ Shaq. Let me read your comment properly. You kind of disagree, which is totally fair. That's totally your opinion. This win is more about how decimated and regressed the Roosters are than whether the Broncos are championship contenders. So I definitely agree with that part. The Broncos still have to convince me. It's kind of got 2023 vibes about it. Remember, I pretty much said all the way up until the week before finals that I'm still not convinced about the Broncos. I'm still not convinced. I'm certainly not convinced because the whole game changed complexion when Victor Radley went down. I can't imagine that the Roosters game revolves so entirely around Victor Radley. So it's possibly just coincidental. But that stoppage in play certainly didn't seem to help the Roosters. Certainly seemed to help the Broncos, though. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. But at the end of the day, when we're talking about contenders and pretenders anyway, it comes down to who is going to take the fight to the Storm and the Panthers. I've always said, even before a ball was kicked off this season, I've said Storm, Panthers, daylight. So at the moment, do bear with us. This is not rugby league talk, but we do have a monumental moment on our hands here in Brisbane. We're not used to cyclones coming over the area. So the latest data from BOM, or actually we're not allowed to call it that anymore. We always called the Bureau of Meteorology BOM, so that we didn't have to struggle through saying Bureau of Meteorology every single time. But apparently they don't like it when you call them BOM. But anyway, the latest BOM data has the tracking even further north now. So, good old Cyclone Alfred right now is still out at sea, or at 7 p.m. anyway, so that's only a couple of hours ago. It's still out at sea. It is going to go straight over the top of Cape Morton. The way that they've tracked it at the moment, it's going to go straight over the top of Cape Morton, and it's going to, as a Category 2, going over that island is going to take some sting out of it. It's going to be a Category 1 when it hits the mainland. And it's going to fall exactly halfway between Brisbane and Maroochydore. up on the north side as a Cat 1. Now, obviously, we're still going to cop a lot of wind and a lot of rain, but I think downgraded to a Category 1 is the best possible result that we could hope for. Well, the best realistic result that we could hope for. Obviously, the best result is that there'll be some random bloody wind from down south that pushes it back out to sea. Very unlikely, though. Jenna Talia says, hasn't the news outlets been selling the hell out of the cyclone? Of course they have. Oh, Jesus Christ. If you watch like Channel 9, Channel 7, any mainstream media, everywhere from up the Sunshine Coast down as far as northern New South Wales is about to be wiped off the bloody map, the way that they're spilling it. Will Main over on TikTok says, I thought it would be a Cat 5. It's Cat 1 at most. There's even some, like I follow the bomb charts and the US Navy charts. Isn't it funny that we get weather information from the US Navy? But the bomb charts have it passing mainland as a Category 1. The US Navy has it passing mainland as a Category 1. It's only the mainstream media that are pushing their agenda, for whatever reason that they have to push fear and confusion upon the public. Anyway, don't get me started. This feels like a Discord conversation that I'm about to go into. But long story short, no, it's not going to be Category 5. It has no chance of going up to a Category 5. And look, a Category 1, though, in this neck of the woods, it's still going to be a damaging event. I don't want to sound like I'm dismissing it or downplaying it that much, because I'm really not. Like, we here in southeast Queensland are not built for any category of cyclone, let's be honest. We've got a lot of houses here built before the 1970s, and before the 1970s, it wasn't even a thought. After 1970, when it actually happened, then new building codes came into place. So the more modern buildings will be absolutely fine with a Cat 1. But anyway, I digress. Speaking about cyclones, Jesus Christ, the Roosters just got wiped out by Cyclone Bronco. 50 points to 14. What an annihilation. And I've got to say that I'm very surprised by that. I mean, the Roosters team is not that bad, honestly. Tedesco, Tupou, Marky Mark, Dom Young, Lindsay Collins, Connor Watson, Nafa'u White, Angus Crichton, Victor Radley, Siu Wong. That is not a team that should be getting beaten by 50 points. Oh, the Barton says, I meant to ask you the other day if your place would be fine. Absolutely fine, mate. Absolutely fine. We are obviously on the south side, and the south side of a cyclone is a terrible place to be. But yeah, absolutely fine. We've had stronger winds than they're predicting in some bloody summer storms that have happened. Obviously, a cyclone has winds and rain that are so much more prolonged than your typical summer storm. But yeah, please don't buy into the hype. That's all I'm saying. Be safe, be prepared, and obviously be smart about everything. Don't dismiss it. Like I said, I really hope that I'm not coming across too dismissive of this whole thing. It's obviously a threatening event that's happening. But I'm just saying, if you watch the mainstream media, you'd think you're watching that Twister movie with, what's-her-face? Helen Hunt. There's going to be houses flying through the air and bollocks. That's not going to happen. The biggest threat, of course, is flooding. Not in my area, but for the direct impact zone and flood-prone areas, that's obviously the biggest threat. There's not going to be houses flying through the air. Like my backyard shed isn't going to end up 2 blocks over or anything like that. But the yard could be flooded. And I may just have to like hang my butt out the window to have a little bit of a clean off after I use the bathroom, because panic buying has ensued and there's not a roll of toilet paper left in this town. But I digress. $50 points to 14 here. Holy hell. Oh. Unbelievable. Bunnings Snag. Okay. First of all, Bunnings Snag. That might be one of the greatest usernames I've ever seen. Second of all, I'm now very hungry. My fat ass is now extremely hungry. And Hunt and Reynolds are going to be such a good halves combo until they both break down injured. When they both break down injured, it'll be a very different story. Jenna Talia says, so do we put a line through the Roosters? Well, history suggests, yes, we do. We absolutely do put a line through them. But, I mean, the thing is, put a line through them. I never had a line. What would be the contrary to that? I never had them picked anyway. I never didn't have a line through them. How does that work exactly? They were never a threat. But I think we put a line through them for the premiership if there wasn't one already. What are the Trumpets of Patriots GC? Okay, too much dead air. Too much dead air. Oh, it's a new political party. Trumpets of Patriots. TOP is an Australian political party that intends to contest the 2025 federal... Oh, God. Really? There's another election up? Oh, God. Okay, well, I better put some money aside for the fine that I've got incoming for not voting. Paddy Colkin, ahoy, mate. How are you, sir? How was your holiday, my friend? Paddy Colkin, one of the regulars over there on TikTok. If I don't vote, I'm not allowed to complain about the outcome. I don't, because I don't even follow. I don't even know who our president is. We don't even call it a president, do we? Oh, God damn it. See? I don't care. It was awesome. You had a great birthday. Hang on. Your birthday? Did we miss your birthday? Oh. We call it a prime minister. Thanks for the education, DJ Shaq. Yeah, I won't remember. I won't remember because I don't care. Dan Jam says your head of state is the king. Don't. Okay. All right. Oh, Matty Colkin. Let's get this away from politics ASAP for Matty Colkin's birthday. Oh, yeah. Happiest of birthdays, my friends. Cheers. Very glad to hear you had a good day. Yes, happy birthday, Matty. Thank you so much for your support since finding our little space on the internet. Genitalia with the $5 super chat says there should be a wasted world of sport political party. Oh yeah, that's all I need. That's all I bloody need is calling a press conference and then having James in the chat room after 30 seconds going, "You're late!" Of course he's late. He's always late. That'd go down well. We'd be sure to get all the votes. Somebody did actually say to me once, though, and it was obviously just tongue-in-cheek, but like, you should... What's our local thing? Whatever our local thing is. So I've been informed tonight that the head honcho is the Prime Minister, not President, like I said. So what's... Because there's obviously people who are in charge of each state, right? Somebody said that I should do that. Someone said I should do that because it might be, like it might actually work in my favor that I don't care as much as I don't care. It might be a breath of fresh air for people to just have a normal, everyday human being. Not that I would call myself normal, everyday human being. I'm just saying this is what that person said to me. To have a normal, everyday human run for this position because I don't care. I said, oh, it wouldn't work because nobody would ever see me. I care so little. You wouldn't even see me. I wouldn't be campaigning. Imagine. Oh, damn it. I'm not going out and doing a press conference. I've got a game of footy to watch. Come on. Priorities. Priorities. All right. Anyways, we'll have a quick break here and be right back to sum things up right after this. All right. Welcome back. Wasted World of Sports. Round 1 of the NRL continuing. A massacre. What we saw. Absolute massacre here. The Broncos over the Roosters. Matty Colkin's asking if I'm covering the cricket final. I'm going to refrain from saying definitely yes. I'm interested, but I will refrain from saying definitely because I don't know. I just don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty at the moment about how much I'm going to be able to cover this weekend. Obviously, there's a cyclone looming, and I hate to get back onto that topic, but I did make a post on the YouTube that we just don't know. Like, okay, it's going to track across the mainland as a Category 1, unless you listen to the mainstream media. Yes, I know. If you listen to the mainstream media, it's going to be like Category 4 or 5. It's going to be like the movie Twister. There's going to be houses blown in the air and whatnot. We've been through it all. Realistically, though, it's going to be a Category 1 when it crosses the mainland. But I'm very south of the impact zone. Very south of the impact zone. We are going to get a lot of wind. We're going to get a lot of rain. But the thing is, where I live, we lose power here if somebody farts too loud. I lose power every single storm. I'm fairly sure that we will lose power here at some point for some extended duration. So, I don't know. It may be Sunday night when the game's on. It might be tomorrow night. Like, whenever this cyclone does decide to hit, we will lose power here on my street because we just always do. In the most weak and meaningless storm, we will lose power for a certain period of time. It will happen. So that's why I sort of put the heads up. Like I'm very clear of any sort of threatening cyclone damage, but we are definitely in the tail. We're definitely in the impact zone of it. I'm going to lose power at some point. It will happen. I know it will. So it's just a matter of when that happens as to what I'm going to be able to cover this weekend. But as it stands right now, my intention is to cover everything. There's more rugby league tomorrow. There's Super Rugby over the weekend. There's Six Nations Rugby over the weekend. So there's a lot that I'm intending to cover. Whether or not I'm actually able to, who knows? Vincent Spears Music, ahoy! How are you? Vincent Spears Music, you tipped the Broncos. Congratulations. I didn't. But then again, part of that is honestly just my desire to see them fail year in, year out. That can't be denied. Buckingham says, go Broncos. Oh, we're going to talk wrestling, are we? 20 years in the making. John Cena has broken the hearts of all the little kids around the world. He kicked Cody Rhodes in the nuts. And I loved every second. Well, I didn't love every second of it. I loved the fact that it actually happened. But what was with, what's his face? What was with that rapper dude just hanging around in the corner? Who is he? Never heard of him, first and foremost. Like, I understand that the whole gimmick was supposed to be, this is one of The Rock's big, famous celebrity friends. I've never goddamn heard of the guy. So it didn't really have that impact with me. Don't know who he is. Don't know what he was doing there. And I don't care. Oh, he's a rapper. Oh, well. Rap is crap. The West Texas Rednecks. Angelica, Philippines. Ahoy there. Welcome along. But overall, I love it. It's fantastic. It's a long time in the making. I totally understand why they didn't do it way back when. I completely understand why they didn't do it. I'm so glad that they've done it now, actually. Very happy that it took place. But, yeah, Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Cody Rhodes, who cares? Cody Rhodes lost me a long time ago. The problem for Cody is I still see him as, I still see him in his first run, basically. Can't take him seriously as a main eventer. I personally just don't see it. But anyway. No. He's no Undertaker. He's no Stone Cold. Mr. H. Oh, no, hang on. Is it Mr. H. Miles or Mr. Miles? PNG. Can anyone tell me about the score? Brisbane versus Roosters. I mean, hang on. God, how does this work? All right. Boom. Not much more to say outside of that. It was absolute annihilation by the Brisbane Broncos. Dan Jam says, what exactly is nightmarish about him, given that he's the American Nightmare? Exactly. I mean, I understand that it's a play on his dad being the American dream, Dusty Rhodes. So it's like, okay, to create my own image and step away from that shadow. I'm the American Nightmare. He was the dream. I'm the nightmare. But yeah, I'm with you, Dan Jam. There's nothing threatening about Cody Rhodes. See, the thing is, and I'm sorry that we've turned the back end of this into a pro wrestling conversation, but I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about the bloody NRL matches. They're 50 points to 14. Come on. But for me, professional wrestling has got to pass the eye test. It's like any TV show or movie, right? Like your Vin Diesels and your Sylvester Stallones, your Arnold Schwarzeneggers. These guys are the stars of action movies. Why? Because they look like big bad bastards that'll knock your head off, whether they are or they aren't. But they've got the look. They look like believable characters in the role that they're playing. And the thing that always ruins professional wrestling for me is circumstances where Finn Balor, AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes, like, I'm sorry, but these guys just, if I'm having a night out on the Terps and I see somebody built and the size of these people, I'm not backing down. Look, I'm not trying to be a tough guy. They might hand my ass to me on a silver platter, but it's the look. Like Hulk Hogan in his prime, The Undertaker, Stone Cold, Big Show. Like, these guys, you're not messing with them if you see them out on the street. So you've got to pass the eye test. And again, just so that we're clear, I'm not pretending to be some tough guy. Most of those guys would probably realistically kick my ass. Would I stand up to Brock Lesnar? No. If I bumped into Brock Lesnar in a dark alley, the first thing I'm doing is apologizing. I bump into Cody Rhodes, I'm probably going to go him. Be like, oi, your fault, you son of a bitch. How dare you try and suggest that this little altercation was my fault? Just keep on moving, friend. Keep on moving. But if that's Brock Lesnar, I'm like, oh, Jesus, sorry, mate. Even though you bumped into me, not a problem. My fault. Completely. I'm so sorry. My bad, you know. I feel bad for existing. My hair kind of looks like a Ken doll. They've started making Ken dolls with black hair now. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking to me. Okay, that's what you would say to Cody. I was going to say, I don't recall, not that I'm very often walking through the Barbie aisle, but not very often. Not that, can't remember the last time a Ken doll had long black hair and a bandana. But, well, bandana's not really part of the hair, but yeah, you look like a Ken doll, you big goof. What about down here? Oh, no, that's real. My bad. Sorry. Okay, yeah, I probably shouldn't have gone there. I've taken it too far. Ah, damn it. Oh, well. We probably should end this stream. 9:30, what do we end up with? 4,488 YouTube subscribers. Very nice. Judah, Shivian, ahoy, mate. How are you? You just woke up. Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed. 6:30 a.m. Oh, God, land of the early risers. Jeez. 6:30 a.m. Sometimes I'm only just getting to bed. Depends what. Depends, obviously, what games are on that I'm covering. You are going back to bed now. Smart man. Smart move. Me, I'm going to go try and find some food. Well, I mean, there's food in the fridge. I don't need to look very hard. But I'll see what I'm going to fire up. All right. Waste of Water Sports, thank you so much for your company in this absolute abortion of a game. 50 points to 14. The Broncos, look, honestly, Broncos supporters, save some grand final tickets for the rest of us. I know that you're out there pricing up your tickets and your hotels. Don't get carried away, is all I'm going to say. Thank you so much for your company here in this one, wherever you've joined us from, whichever social media platform. Waste of Water Sports is live on YouTube, live on TikTok, live on Facebook, and live on Twitch each and every week. We'll cover as much as we can cover this weekend. It all depends on my power and internet as the cyclone approaches. I'll catch you whenever I catch you next. Until then, cheers.
Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play, but it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the joys. Join us in our world, where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Scrums and tries, they're all well and good, but But we're here for the jokes and 10 pants last from the kickoff to the final whistles blow. We'll take the 2 and we're ready to go. We're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun and the choice. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted road sports, we're having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest. With the laugh and the cheer, we bring out our best. No serious analysis, no expert critiques. Just a bunch of mates sharing plenty of drinks. We'll raise a roll from sideline jokes to post-match tales. All the big goofs and their big fails. We're not so serious, and that's our style. With each ahoy, we raise our steins. Ahoy, ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the choice. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted road sports, we're having a good time. So come along and join us, sporty crew, where the banter's always fresh and the laughs are true. Oh, wasted world of sports, here's to our cheer. We'll see you on the pitch and drink some beer.